Virgo, pause for just a moment. Take a deep breath, because what I'm about to tell you isn't ordinary. September 17th is not just another date on the calendar. It's not just another sunrise or another passing Monday. It is a cosmic checkpoint, a turning point where the universe pauses and whispers directly to your soul. And here's the shocking truth. Not everyone is chosen for this moment. This alignment is rare, and only a few Virgos will feel its vibration deep inside their core. And if you've landed here, listening to this message right now, it's not random. It's not coincidence. It's a sign. You were called here because your spirit already knows something is shifting. For weeks, maybe even months, you've felt it, haven't you? That subtle restlessness, that quiet voice inside you saying, change is coming. That feeling you can't explain but can't ignore either. Virgo, the universe is moving pieces behind the scenes right now, and on September 17th, those pieces will finally lock into place. This isn't about luck. This isn't about chance. This is about destiny. But destiny doesn't just reveal itself to anyone. It reveals itself to those who are chosen. And today, I'm going to reveal the 5 shocking signs that prove you were chosen for this alignment. And let me tell you, if you recognize even one of these signs within yourself, your life is about to shift in ways you could never imagine. So stay with me until the very end, because sign number 5, that's the one that will give you chills. That's the one that will unlock the truth you've been waiting your whole life to hear. Virgo, this message isn't for the faint of heart. It's not for those who just want to hear comforting words and move on. This is a wake-up call, a soul alert. And if you are here, that means the universe has chosen you to hear it. Why September 17th? Because on this day, the heavens don't simply whisper, they wake up. This is one of those rare cosmic moments when the machinery of fate clicks into place and invisible doors begin to open. It's not astrology for the sake of predictions. It's astrology as an alert, an invitation to meet the version of yourself that's been waiting patiently beneath the noise. Think of your life like a movie set. For months, maybe years, the crew has been moving props, adjusting lights, rerouting cables. You saw pieces of it, strange delays, doors closing, people leaving and arriving, but you didn't see the hands working behind the scenes. September 17th is when the director finally calls action. The scenes you've been rehearsing quietly will now be filmed in front of the light. Mercury, your ruling planet, has been in motion, nudging communication, sharpening clarity, and demanding truth. When Mercury forms a rare channel with Saturn and Neptune, your inner GPS recalibrates. Saturn brings structure. It asks, what will you commit to? Neptune softens the edges and calls for soul-infused vision. Together, they don't create chaos. They test depth. They ask, are you ready to carry what you've been chosen for? This alignment isn't random. It isn't a mystical lottery ticket you happen to hold. It's a deliberate soul test. Doors that slammed in your face were not punishments, but filters. They were the universe sorting out what belongs in your life and what doesn't. Each setback was a form of sacred pruning, cutting away the branches that hid your true path so the trunk could grow stronger. You may have felt invisible or punished by timing, opportunities vanishing at the last second, relationships ending with no closure, promises that never materialized. Those weren't failures. They were training. Training for resilience, training for clarity, training for the exact rhythm the universe will call on September 17th. Do not underestimate the quiet work you did in the dark, the nights you sat with your doubts and still chose to show up, the tiny decisions you made that felt boring but were actually building discipline, the boundaries you slowly learned to set when everyone expected you to be available. That invisible grit is the scaffold the cosmos needs to support what's coming next. Virgo, you are practical by nature, and that's your strength. This alignment asks you to apply your practical gifts not to anxiety, but to discernment. Notice what feels aligned, what conversations lift you, what routines sharpen you, which people echo your integrity. Those are the clues the stars are sending you now. So breathe. Hold this. Every struggle, every closed door, every restless night, these were not random hardships. They were training for this day, for this moment, for this urgent soul alert. The first shocking sign that proves you were chosen for this September 17th alignment is this. Life keeps sending you the same lessons over and over again. Think about it, Virgo. How many times have you caught yourself saying, "Why does this always happen to me?" The same kind of person walks into your life wearing a different face but carrying the same energy. The same financial roadblock appears just when you think you've cleared it. The same emotional trigger shows up in a new situation, pressing on an old wound you thought was healed. At first, it feels unfair, like the universe is picking on you. But here's the hidden truth. This isn't punishment, it's proof. Proof that you are being trusted with growth that ordinary souls are not asked to carry. The universe doesn't waste energy. If the same pattern keeps returning, it's because your soul is strong enough to break it. That repetition is a signal. Virgo, you're close. Keep pushing. You're about to crack the cycle. September 17th is the crack point, the day where the wheel of repetition slows just enough for you to step off it. But here's the key. You have to recognize the pattern. If you can name it, you can own it. And once you own it, you can finally break it. So let's get honest for a moment. What's the pattern that keeps circling back in your life? Is it relationships with people who drain your energy, yet you keep giving them another chance? Is it money slipping through your fingers every time you get ahead? Is it doubting yourself just when opportunity knocks? Virgo, patterns repeat until wisdom is learned. And the fact that you are aware of yours means you've already passed the hardest part, awareness. On September 17th, this alignment doesn't just highlight your patterns, it gives you the power to end them. The universe is saying, are you ready to finally graduate from this cycle? Imagine it like a locked door you've been circling for years. Every time you walk by, you jiggle the handle, hoping it will open, and it never does. But this September 17th, the key finally drops into your hand. The question is, will you use it? Remember, Virgo, chosen souls are not punished with repetition, they are entrusted with it. Because once you break the cycle in your own life, you don't just free yourself, you free everyone connected to you. You become the living proof that change is possible. So ask yourself right now, what lesson keeps returning to you like an echo? Because the moment you name it, you weaken its grip. And when you choose to face it on September 17th, you don't just end a cycle, you begin a destiny. The second shocking sign that proves you were chosen is something you've carried with you since childhood, the deep sense that you don't fully belong. Virgo, think back. Even as a kid, didn't you sometimes feel like you were standing on the outside of life, watching everyone else fit in so easily? You could play along, you could smile, you could adapt. But inside, something whispered, I'm not like them. Maybe your silence was misunderstood. People thought you were shy when really you were observing. Maybe your perfectionist eye for detail annoyed others when in truth you were simply tuned to a higher standard. Maybe you were told you were too sensitive, too intense, or too serious for your age. At times, that feeling of being different made you ache for acceptance. You wondered, why can't I just blend in? Why can't I be more like them? But here's the truth you were never told. That ache was proof that your soul carried a frequency not meant for ordinary living. Virgo, that wasn't rejection. That was separation. The universe wasn't pushing you out. It was setting you apart. It was making sure you wouldn't get lost in the crowd because your mission required you to stand out. And here's what you need to hear. September 17th magnifies that difference. It cracks it wide open. People will begin to sense something in you, even if they can't explain it. They'll be drawn to your energy, your presence, your quiet depth. Why? Because chosen souls radiate light, and light is impossible to ignore. Imagine walking into a room. You're not the loudest, you're not trying to impress, but suddenly all eyes shift toward you. People may not even know why, but they feel it. They feel that you carry something rare, an energy that whispers, "This one is different." And yes, sometimes that light attracts envy or misunderstanding. Some may project their insecurities onto you, but that too is proof of your calling. Bright lights cast long shadows, Virgo, and you were never meant to dim yourself just to make others comfortable. September 17th is the turning point. The universe is saying, stop apologizing for your difference. Stop shrinking your light. Stop doubting why you see the world the way you do. You were built differently because your path is different. You weren't meant to follow. You were meant to lead. You weren't designed to fit in. You were designed to awaken. So if you've carried that ache of not belonging, let it remind you of this truth. You don't belong to the ordinary because you were chosen for the extraordinary. And from this September 17th forward, the world won't just notice your difference. They'll need it. The third shocking sign, Virgo, is this. Your hardest battles have been fought in silence. You know exactly what I mean. The nights you cried alone, with no one to comfort you. The mornings you put on a brave face, even though inside you felt like you were breaking. The heavy burdens you carried so quietly that people around you never realized you were fighting for your sanity, for your peace, for your survival. Others may look at you and think you have it together, but only you and the universe know the weight you've carried in private. You've faced storms that would have destroyed someone else. You've been hit with disappointments, betrayals, heartbreaks and setbacks, yet you didn't crumble. Yes, you bent, but you didn't break. Yes, you stumbled, but you didn't give up. Virgo, I need you to understand, that silence wasn't weakness. It was sacred preparation. The universe hides its chosen ones in the shadows before bringing them into the light. You were being trained in silence. Your battles in the dark were not punishment. They were building endurance. Every sleepless night, every lonely tear, every moment you whispered, "I can't do this anymore," it all became the fuel for your rise. Here's the truth. The universe doesn't trust fragile souls with heavy battles. If you were asked to carry pain in silence, it's because your spirit is unshakable. You've been forged like steel in fire, stronger, sharper, unbreakable. And now, September 17th changes everything. On this day, that silence transforms into strength. The scars you thought were ugly reminders of pain will suddenly shine as proof of your resilience. The tears that once burned your cheeks become the water that nourishes your new beginning. The universe is declaring over you, enough suffering. Now it's time to rise. Virgo, you are not your wounds. You are not your pain. You are the warrior who survived them. And that survival has unlocked the power for your next chapter. Think about this. Every leader, every healer, every chosen soul throughout history has walked through silent struggles. They've carried crosses that no one saw. They've endured nights darker than most could imagine. And do you know why? Because destiny demands depth, and depth is born in silence. So if you felt invisible in your suffering, know this, you were never unseen. The universe saw every tear, every prayer, every moment you wanted to quit but chose to keep going. On September 17th, all that hidden strength will come into the light. The storms you survived will no longer define you, they will crown you. Your silent struggles weren't the end of you, they were the making of you. And now, Virgo, it's your time to rise. The fourth shocking sign, Virgo, is one you've probably struggled with the most. It's the thing you tried to fight, the thing you thought was unfair, the thing that left you confused and restless. It's what I call the divine interruptions. You know exactly what I'm talking about. The plans you made that suddenly collapsed. The relationship you thought would last forever that ended overnight. The opportunity you thought was guaranteed that slipped through your fingers at the very last second. At the time, it felt like failure. It felt like punishment. It felt like life was playing some cruel joke on you. But here's the truth you weren't told. Those interruptions weren't accidents. They were interventions. That person wasn't meant to walk with you into your destiny. If they had stayed, they would have drained your energy, dimmed your light, and distracted you from your true purpose. That job you didn't get wasn't rejection. It was redirection. Because if you had taken it, you would have been trapped in a place that suffocated your potential. That delay that made you feel stuck wasn't punishment. It was alignment. The universe was slowing you down so the right door could open at the right time. Virgo, the chosen don't move on ordinary timing. They don't get to follow the predictable paths everyone else walks. Chosen souls move on divine timing. And that's why your life has been interrupted again and again. Not because you're cursed, not because you're unlucky, but because you're chosen. And chosen souls aren't allowed to settle. Think about it. If everything had worked out exactly the way you wanted in the past, would you even be here right now, listening to this message? Or would you be stuck in a life that was comfortable, but not meant for you? On September 17th, this truth becomes crystal clear. The stars align in such a way that those old interruptions suddenly make sense. What once looked like loss will reveal itself as protection. What once felt like delay will show itself as divine precision. Virgo, you have been spared from paths that looked good but weren't right, and the interruptions you cursed will turn out to be the very reasons you're still standing and ready for what's coming next. So the next time life cancels your plans, the next time a door slams shut, the next time you hear, "not yet," when you're desperate for yes, remember this. It's not failure, it's formation. The universe is not breaking you, it's aligning you. September 17th is the day you'll see it clearly. You weren't blocked, you were being guided, you weren't rejected, you were being redirected, you weren't abandoned, you were being protected. Because Virgo, you are not here to live an ordinary story. You were chosen for something far greater. Virgo, this is the one you can't ignore. The fifth and final sign, the one that shakes your entire being. It's the inner pull you've carried for as long as you can remember. You know exactly what I mean. That restless feeling inside you, even when everything looks fine on the surface. Your career might look steady. Your relationships might appear okay. You might even have moments of comfort. But deep down, something is unsettled. It feels like a whisper, like a magnet tugging at your chest, like there's something more waiting for you just beyond the horizon. Virgo, that whisper isn't imagination. It isn't random. It isn't just anxiety or overthinking. That is your soul speaking. That is your destiny calling. The chosen ones always feel this, because they are not designed to fit into ordinary patterns or stay in boxes that limit them. They are designed to expand, to rise, to transform. And when you ignore this inner pull, life becomes unbearable. No matter how much you achieve, you feel empty. No matter how many people praise you, you feel unseen. No matter how much you try to distract yourself, the calling only grows louder. Why? Because your soul won't let you settle. Your higher self knows there's a mission you were born for, and the closer you get to September 17th, the louder this pull becomes. Virgo, listen carefully. On September 17th, that whisper turns into a voice, a clear, undeniable voice. It will guide you, push you, and pull you toward the step you must take next. This isn't just another day on the calendar, this is a pivot, a crack in the timeline, the kind of cosmic alignment that doesn't just shift your week, it shifts your life, and you're going to feel it in your bones. Maybe it will come through a sudden idea, maybe a dream that feels too real to ignore, maybe a conversation that seems ordinary at first, but later you realize it was a message from the universe. However it shows up, you'll know. Because the chosen don't just think they're chosen, they feel it. Virgo, if you've ever looked in the mirror and thought, there's more to me than what I'm living right now, this is the proof. If you've ever felt out of place, restless, or like you were waiting for a sign, this is it. The pull inside you is confirmation. The timing is not random. The date is not random. You were chosen, not by accident, not by coincidence, but by design. And on September 17th, the design reveals itself. So, Virgo, will you answer the call? Will you step into the voice that has been whispering your entire life? Because the universe is done whispering. It's about to shout your destiny into existence. So, Virgo, take a deep breath, because September 17th is not just a date, it is a soul alert, a divine appointment, a line drawn in the sand of your destiny. The truth is, if even one of these 5 signs spoke to your soul tonight, you already know the answer. You were chosen. Not someday, not maybe, not if things work out. Number. You were chosen the moment your soul entered this world. Let's look back for a moment, because the proof has been all around you. The repeated patterns, the lessons life keeps circling back to, because you were strong enough to break them. The feeling of being different, the quiet separation that was never rejection, but preparation. The silent struggles, the nights nobody knew you were crying, but the universe saw every tear. The divine interruptions, the cancelled plans, the endings, the delays that were not punishment but protection, and the inner pull, the whisper, the restlessness, the undeniable knowing that your mission is bigger than the life you see today. Virgo, these are not coincidences, these are confirmations. And now, I want to ask you, which one of these 5 spoke to your soul the loudest? Was it the patterns you're finally ready to break? The feeling of being different that you're finally ready to embrace? The silent struggles that gave you more strength than anyone realizes? The divine interruptions that were secretly guiding your path? Or the inner pull that refuses to let you settle? Drop your answer in the comments below with a "So the universe knows you've heard this message and you're ready to step into your destiny." Because here's the truth, Virgo. You are not watching this by accident. You didn't stumble across these words by coincidence. You are here because your soul called you here. Because deep down, you already knew this message belonged to you. September 17th is not about waiting, it's about awakening. It's the moment where you stop second-guessing, stop doubting, and start stepping into the power that has always been yours. So let this be your confirmation. Let this be the spark that ignites the fire within you. And let this be the day you finally claim what has always been written for you. Virgo, remember this. You are not ordinary. You are not forgotten. You are not lost. You are chosen. And September 17th is your proof.